Boy, oh boy, I don't know if that sounded really loud in my ears only, but wow.
There you have it.
Yeah. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. That dude there, it's my brother. Older brother. He's older. You know what? I'll be hearing nothing about the squeaking of this chair on account of the fact that I put a great deal of effort into making sure that this chair does not squeak. Now, that does not mean that the chair is not going to squeak. It just means that I put a lot of effort into trying to make the chair not squeak. You feel me? That's where I'm at. Hey, Pajama Pixie. She says, hey, everybody. Hey, Scoville boys. Good to see you, Midnight Show. Glad you're here. One with cats. What's up, Shell? Layla. Got me on my knees. RDR. Matrix Rabbit. Tara. Is that Tara of the Great Questions, Tara? Good to see you. What's happening? Round Shaw. Sandy Wendy, what's up? Andra. The Midnight Show. Kristen Melinda, always a pleasure to see you. Is the chair comfy, though? Well, you know what? To be really honest, it isn't the most comfy chair on all of Earth. The couch is way more comfortable than the chair is, to be really honest with you. But it's making less noise. One of the other things that I did was screw the arms together, right? This thing was not particularly steady lateral mobility. The torsional rigidity of the chair left a great deal to be desired. Now that I've got it, though, truthfully and honestly, now that I've got this thing completely put back together correctly, like with everything screwed in the way it's supposed to be, because it wasn't like this at all. But now that it's put together correctly, it sucks. I really need to get a different chair. I was hoping that once I had got this thing completely assembled, it was going to be great. And it's not. It's not even. It doesn't even feel great. Brenda, what's happening? Sean's wifey from the UK. I like it. Jason P. Jason P, you sounded great last night. As I was reading a comment, you said you didn't think you sounded fantastic. It's up here. First couple of times you hear yourself. I deserve a great chair. Thank you, Tara. I think I do deserve a great chair. I'm gonna work on it's something that is I'm putting on the list shortly. Right after the litter robot, somewhere on there on my dream list after the litter robot will go the new chair, but it is making less noise. So I've got that going for us. I'll be honest, I'm not really a chair dude anyway. Like if I'm not live, I'm not sitting in this chair. I don't think the Scoville boys spend a tremendous amount of time seated these days. The only time Johnny is seated is if he's typing. But hey, Dawn Gloves, good to see you. I love Dawn Gloves, the RN. The Audrey Gore coming in from a different continent. Speaking of which, we had a phone call last night from Israel. That was really exciting stuff to me, man. Really is. There's just something so wild to me about the fact that there are people in other countries that are setting down substances because of everything that you all do here. That's pretty cool stuff. I hope that it does to you what it does to me, because it tickles the crap out of me. It really does. Penelope McGowan, good to see you. Scoob. Penelope. Yes, you like the name Penelope as well. Yeah. I'm a fan. I am a fan. Tone Ranger. Glucose is stabilizing. You know what, Tone? I'm glad to hear this, man. He's a chili head. He's a no-joke chili head. Hey, all, have some good news. Glucose is stabilizing. 100 over 120. Lost 25 pounds, too. Woo-hoo-hoo! What's up, man? 2 months before my next checkup. How good is that? I remember, and many of you may remember that he came on and said, this is another challenge, but I'm going to knock this down. I'm going to lose weight. So it's good to hear that you're hitting the milepost, Tone. For real. Can I get somebody with a blue wrench to put a link up to Tone Ranger's channel so that you guys can go and check it out? The man is a tree hugger. There she is. Thank God. I was just talking about you to Johnny Scoville right before we went live. Was I not?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He is such a low life. You low life. I knew he was going to do it. I set him up for it.
Yeah, I knew that you were looking in my direction.
I set him up for it.
He's not doing this, is he?
You know, I pulled a Johnny Scoville last night, and it was so funny that I'm going to give credit where credit is due because it was a Johnny Scoville. Who was it that was calling in at the time? It was. Give me a second, I'll think about it. But Lisa, I am so glad that you are still alive. We were really concerned about that. We were talking about praying for you and talking about your condition right before we went live. That is the truth. Sharon Smith, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Shannon Smith, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Debbie P. Cooking with the grandma. Lisa Bain, what's happening? Peppers in Kentucky living. Love it. Love it.
Jeremy Bell.
Abby Normal.
Big fan.
Abby Normal. My brother Johnny, big fan of Abby Normal.
How can you
not? You know, gossip comes in a couple of different varieties now. Before you start judging the captain for gossip. If gossip is something that you are doing about people that you know and care about, I think it's slightly different than if we are talking about, I'll tell you what, throw in your favorite, because I won't be talking about anybody here on the boat, I assure you. But there's some stuff to talk about, man. The more time I spend deep diving this Sean Scumbag Combs, right? The more time that I spend deep diving this cat, the more that I realize there is so much to this thing. This is going to be horrific. Honestly, I just see this being world-changing kind of stuff. I'm not even being funny. You know, there are 5 open lawsuits, I think, or currently is what we're looking at is 5 open lawsuits and at least 5 others of people who said they are on their way with they're about to file, I guess would be the way to put it. One of whom is someone who was in college with Sean Combs at Howard University. And he said that that Combs and someone else had assaulted him. Look at that. Yankee Kyle, member for 6 months, sober for 36 years. Congrats, my friend. Congrats. Lisa, we're keeping you in our thoughts and prayers, hon. We're worried about you. You are a very important part of this family here. And we're thinking of you, and you are in our thoughts and prayers. I promise you. That is the truth. Did he do it? Yeah, he did. No question. He's a bad man. He is a bad man. Now, I don't care what your preference is, who you want to sleep with, if they happen to be the same person, the same sex, if they happen to be of a different sex, don't care. Got nothing to do with me. Feel me? Got nothing to do with me. So why would I care? I don't, right? I don't care. However, right, it should be said that this guy by most accounts, most assuredly, is swinging both ways, and more than likely is gay. Hello, Kathy. Always an honor to have you here. Our resident musician, really talented musician. You really should check her out. Wrenches, you know what to do. Speaking of musicians and music, one of the biggest names in the music industry ever, Clive Davis. Pretty big name. You guys know Clive Davis. You've heard this name, yes?
Even if they didn't, they know his work, whether they've heard it or not.
You know his work, whether or not you know the name. This cat put out most of the great music of our time. He had a hand in some way or another. Yeah. Michael Jackson, right? Clive Davis had a hand in the Michael Jackson, big time, right? Also had a huge hand in Whitney Houston's career. Yep. Jennifer Folsom says Whitney Houston. And Whitney says Clive, I think, is the puppet master. Well, it's funny that you should say that. Tree Hugger says, if you are watching and lurking, I see you and you are loved. I love that. Jennifer Folsom says, Carrie Underwood. Yep. And the hits keep coming. Guess what? A couple of years back, Clive came out of the closet, I guess is how you would say it. Yeah, Geffen. DeAndre Gore, we'll talk about old David Geffen. That his day's coming, I promise.
The weird thing is, even though he's come out, he's still supporting Diddy. That's the weird part.
You talking about Clive Davis?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll tell you why Clive Davis is still supporting Diddy. Because Clive is still supporting Diddy. Kathy says, and this is worthy of comment. Damn it all. There we go. Let's try that one. Diddy's paperwork is way worse than Danny's. And she's referring to that scumbag Masterson. Now, as far as his upcoming prison time, his paperwork is going to look really, really foul. There's going to be the R word throughout. It's going to be underage. It's going to be human trafficking, disgusting stuff that's going to make you want to vomit. And there's going to be, he videoed a lot of it and then used the video of SA against people. The more I deep dive this, the more I realize I'm on this one for a hot minute. Because this thing, and it's not, you don't have to be Nostradamus to go, I bet he was taking pictures of these people, but I do feel a little like Nostradamus because right from the very first time that we started talking about this, I said, this cat is just another Epstein. But boy, oh boy, it's going to turn out that Epstein probably would have been happy to be as successful a dirtbag as the scumbag Sean Combs, right? Clive Davis, when he came out, has made a lot of comments about the fact that he had he was in a long-time committed relationship with someone from the industry. What do you think there, Johnny Scoville? Now, the person I was deep diving was looking back at award ceremonies of the last, say, 7 or 8 years. Guess who Clive Davis is most often seen at award shows? Currently, there are 5 lawsuits. Feds have yet to file charges. Thank you, Kellen. So you understand that this man and Diddy go to all of the award shows together, like you might with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other. Now, boy, oh boy, Kath is on it because she's right. Okay. Oh my goodness, did you see all the video of Bishop T.D. Jakes at Diddy's Freakout? Here's the deal. If you're a religious figure, right? If you're the head of a church or whatnot, maybe avoid the orgies. And if you're going to go to them, maybe try to stay off camera. I mean, you really got to.
Listen, in every day room, there's 2 spots. At least 2 usually. There's not going to be any. There's going to be a dead spot. I'll bet you there's not a dead spot in Diddy's whole home. I'll bet you seriously there's not a nook or cranny that doesn't have some mic for sound or video. I promise you.
It's funny that you say that too, because there really there was always a couple of spots. And here's the thing that used to fascinate me. There's no way an inmate can figure that out.
No, they're told.
Uh-huh.
No, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember very specifically. So FCI Terre Haute is about 1.5 million years old, right? It's just a really old prison. And their gymnasium is old gym, right? Everything there is just disgusting, decrepit, and old. But there was a spot in that gymnasium that every single dude there knew you could go to, and it was about 7 feet of dead. That you could do just anything you wanted, and that's 7 feet because you were not going to show up anywhere on film. And it smelled like copper over there. I promise you, it's not a place you want to hang out. But it's really funny because once again, can we talk about my man Cat? Right? Everybody remember Cat's prediction for 2024? He said the truths will be revealed. And he said, doesn't matter if you're P. Diddy or if you're Bishop, TD Jakes. Those were the two names that he called out personally. He gave you the impression it's gonna be a lot of other people. You know what? That's terrible. That is a painful thing. I am sorry to hear that, but we can call out the ones to be sure. Thank you, Casey, for always being kind. First up with the ones. Hey, V-Bombs, how's New York today? Please do. Please do. Kathy says, I'm sending you footage of TD Jakes. He's crawling on the floor for part of it. Yes, he is. Now, please send it to me. Please do that.
I bet Oprah starts keeping a low profile.
Huh? What'd you say, Johnny?
Just saying, I have a funny feeling Oprah's going to change her social, kind of how she's seen.
Before I say anything, can I just say you looking mighty fine today, Oprah? You remember that day? I was watching the Oprah Winfrey show with Johnny Scoville, and it was back when she had the Oprah Win. Like it was really a daytime talk show. It was when daytime talk shows were still king, right? And you could still do some rank stuff on there. She didn't, but people were still doing some crazy stuff on daytime stuff. But this huge black dude got up. He had to be like 8 feet tall. Like he was the biggest dude you ever saw. He looked like the guy from the Green Mile. And she was holding the microphone out to him, and he looked down at her like she was steak. For real. Like he was fond of her. It was really obvious, really quick. But he looked down and said, she goes, yeah, and what did you want to say? He goes, well, before I say anything, I just want to say you looking mighty fine today, Oprah. And I actually spit the beverage I was drinking all over the house. The way he said Oprah was just, there was such lechery. Wasn't it? Yeah. Is that the right?
Good description.
Lechery. He just sounded like a lech. Like he was happy about that Oprah. Had his teeth gritted. You know that number? Hey, Nico Squirrel. I talked to Nico Squirrel yesterday. Very, very cool. And I am gonna be. Hold on a second. Yeah. Our tax dollars pay for that corruption. This is going to be interesting, people. Johnny brought up Oprah. There are a lot of famous cats that are directly associated and tied to Sean Scumbag Combs. And some royalty. Right? New group of dirtbag. And some more royalty. Right, this is the young one, the ginger royal. He is. Don't mock me. The ginger royal is deeply embroiled in this. Big friends with old Scummy Combs.
Ginger royal, deeply embroiled. That should be an album cover.
Thank you.
Seriously, that's like a double album.
One more time. That's really pretty solid.
Time was a good double album.
No, that's pretty good
Should
stuff.
We drop the name of our band that we're working on? No. Should we say it?
Yeah, we might want to. Although it's a pretty solid name.
It's really
so good. The 1% is going to get their karma served, says True to It Connections. And I'll tell you something. Love the name, by the way. I think you might have nailed that. And you know who else said that? Is my friend Joel.
It's the Karma restaurant. No menu. You get what you deserve.
Yeah, get what you deserve. And you get it when you deserve it. Here's the thing on this karma stuff. I don't think everybody's going to get hemmed up, but I think enough people are going to get hemmed up that this is going to change that world, and it needs to be changed, right?
Well, think about the changes in the game with Weinstein.
Absolutely, right?
I promise you, casting couches, the door never gets shut in our casting room office anymore.
Right. Hey, Elizabeth. from Tampa Bay. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're here. We have a lot of great people from Tampa. A lot of great people from Tampa. This is another great question. See, Kathy's a thinker too. I dig Kath, and you should really check out her music. I love listening to Kathy play. God, I love listening to her play. I really do. She's fantastic. So here's the answer. Hey, Dom's mom, good to see you. Here's the answer on this one. Why did Homeland Security do the raid instead of the FBI or the DEA? Because they know what they're looking for. What goes through that front door, right? The people that show up. No, absolutely, Calhoun. FBI was there. You are 100% right. But the reason that it was, and by the way, there were also DEA agents there. But the reason that that Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, a little bit different than HS, but the reason HSI was involved is because they are the foremost federal agency when it comes to human trafficking. Just plain and simple. This is what they document. This is what they do, right? And by going that route, right, by having a team in place that does nothing other than this, they set themselves up for the best possible case scenario. Live videos and YouTube is totally changing the game on what the rich fat cats can get away with. Boy, there's some truth to that, isn't there? You're getting ready for an April snowstorm, says Piano Mom. Piano Mom rocking the 802, and apparently there is some snow on the way to the 457. I hope that I hope you don't get I hope you don't get too much of it. Russ Hampton, that's a hardworking man right there, people. That's my ace deuce. Really a hardworking dude. Cooking with a Grandma says, Tommy and Johnny, we are going to get slammed here in New Hampshire tonight and tomorrow with 12 plus inches of spring white gold. Yeah. Skiers up here are all smiling. I believe it. I remembered loving the April snowstorm or the May. Every once in a while, we would even get a June. Tampa B man says it looks like a hurricane is coming into Tampa. Oh man, that's a little scary. You know, though what though? I hate to say this, but I dig extreme weather.
Oh, we just talked about that.
Yes. We were talking about this yesterday. If you've never been to Arizona, Tucson has extreme weather. In fact, Tucson doesn't know any other kind of weather, right? Tucson doesn't. Tucson and Johnny Scoville have a lot in common, right? You really did pick the perfect place to live because the Johnny Scoville, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing thing. I mean, that's
Arizona is the Australia of America.
Yeah, it's not such a bad way to put it.
It's a wicked good way. Everything wants to kill you. The bugs, the plants, everything wants to get you.
There are a lot of things here that want to get you. Oh, look at that. Out in the country today.
So you're going to deny me the Machu Picchu and the Diet in one video.
I'm gonna insist that you roll out both.
Both? Are you serious?
No, there you go. So
which one should we go for either?
Yesterday, I sent some photos off to
be kind. Just want them to be kind because this could make me look bad. Go ahead.
Settle down. Tighten up your game. I called Alan Ballantyne yesterday to say to him, Alan Ballantyne, you've got to get a look at the peaks, because when you walk out my door, you can see Finger Mountain and that whole range right there. It's my mountain. Is really what it is. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I own it. I've sent pictures to a lot of people, and I always refer to it as my mountain. Finger Mountain is now property of the Scovilles. And we were out there looking at it yesterday, and the clouds had rolled in so low that the peaks of the hill were sticking out above the clouds. So it was like they were wreathed. Like that? Wreathed. There was like a wreath that went all around the thing, or maybe a cummerbund, because it was a little bit lower.
Wreath could be a term they may use. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty slick that way. But They also maybe even cummerbund. If you want to think about it in terms of an ascot and a cummerbund, probably would have been better than collared. But any hoot, very, very cool. Very, very cool. I took some pictures. I sent some off to a bunch of people. You may have gotten one yourself. But Johnny Scoville likes to refer to those clouds as Machu Picchu clouds, except
the Machu Picchu effect.
The Machu Picchu effect. Except he says it fast like he did, except usually he'll say it a little bit quicker than that because I think he's trying to sound like Kramer. Am I wrong?
No, I'm channeling Kramer.
Yeah, he's channeling Kramer.
A little higher and a little quicker. Machu Picchu.
Yeah, Machu Picchu. So now I get it. I mean, you got the Machu Picchu thing and you're into it. I get it. You want to work Machu Picchu into it. But I feel like it's getting worked in a lot. How many times in the last...
pulled over when I first said it.
Well, the first time...
It asked me to get out. I swear to you.
Well, the first time he said it.
We're driving. He pulls over and goes, get out.
You can't just drop a Machu Picchu while I'm driving through. I'm driving through town. I'm having a good time. Everything's great. He's like, hey, check out those clouds. I looked over. I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. He goes, yeah, kind of a Machu Picchu effect. So I pulled over real quick and said, get out of my car. Right? You're not just going to drop the...
I swear he pulled over.
I did. I really did. I tried to throw him out of the car, but he wouldn't get out. You know, you try to make a point. But so the other one, if it's not the Machu Picchu, right? Which
and this is really good. We've been talking for a while. If we were going to have a band, like what would it be called? And I thought for a long time, I've been saying if I was going to start a band, it would be called Accidental Cross, because I think that would be a great name for a band. But I came
Explain Accidental Cross so these people don't...
Accidental Cross is a chili term where you have a couple different pepper varieties growing in your backyard, and plants will do as plants will do, and they get together and, you know.
The plants are they're dirty. They don't much care.
They don't. So, yeah. So there's that. Go ahead. Let's do this.
So he thinks the perfect name for the band is Diatomaceous Earth.
Diatomaceous Earth. Tell me that would be the greatest name of a band. Because you could go thrash metal, you could do metal, you could do mainstream, you could do classic rock. It fits anything.
No.
You could probably do
reggae,
country western. No, you could not.
Reggae? Do you think you could have a reggae band and call it Diatomaceous Earth?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so.
I don't.
So don't say you could go anywhere.
That's probably the only genre you couldn't slip it in. Swing, Diatomaceous Earth. Big Daddy of the Diatomaceous Earth. Come on, you can see that.
Big Daddy Paddles from the Diatomaceous Earth band.
See, people like it.
Accidental
progressive metal band, as he says.
Yeah, accidental breeding a metal band.
Accidental Cross, though. It's a thing. The best peppers that have ever happened were accidents.
My older brother requested Diatomaceous Earth for Christmas one year.
You're kidding me.
What kind of family have you got, Kristen Melinda?
Here's the question.
I want a party.
Here's the question: was he
disappointed? Did they give it to him?
Was he disappointed Christmas morning, or did he get it?
Yeah,
I need to know. Because here's the thing: if you want Diatomaceous Earth, you know, get the kid some Diatomaceous Earth. Did he get some DE?
Yeah, the question is, did he get some DE? Jennifer Folsom says that's a pretty good one, although it's hard to beat the name Butthole Surfers.
Always been a fan. It's the first time I ever heard it. I remember when I heard it. Yeah. I went, stop it. You said
I remember the first time. I remember the first time I heard that too.
Where I was standing.
I do too.
Who said it?
I do too. Yeah, my friend Rob Cooper said it.
I didn't want to give the person credit who said it because I don't really.
You know what? No one's ever going to come across him, so I don't have a problem with it. It's my friend Rob. Can you both do your own version of an episode of Hot Ones? That would be hilarious.
I do it every day.
He does that. I'm pretty sure I've seen Johnny Scoville do his version of Hot Ones. I hear I don't have the tolerance everybody thinks I do. I get burned. This dude's got a tolerance, right? From hell. Hold on. This dude has a tolerance from hell. This dude, right? Not so much. This dude doesn't hurt when he does it. This dude actually feels pain. Therefore,
actually, I hurt. I just like it.
Well, that could be. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll absolutely give you that. Let me rephrase that then. The difference between the two of us would be, oh, I see. I get you. You two together would be fun. Interviewing each other. Now I get where you're going with that.
Do you know
And
what? We've
actually,
been
that
talking
might
about
be
that.
funny.
I haven't interviewed you on my channel before. I have not done that. We should do that.
Shannon Smith, I do dig pain.
I'll ask you questions you won't like.
I like pain. I like pain differently though than he does. He's not right. He's not right. Do you have any idea how long we worked at this so that I could go like that or like this? We worked on this. You're going to leave me hanging? To get that perfect, because I'm not very bright, and to get the camera so that it's in place, because as soon as you get it exactly how you want it, so you can do the, right? You know what happens? Squirrel goes over and goes like this and hits her beak against it, right? And then the whole thing shifts. Patty Collins says it's chilly in Tucson this morning. I got a surprise for you there, Patty Collins. It's chilly in Tucson every morning. Oh yeah. This would be regardless of the time of year. See what I did there? Regardless of year. Year, regardless. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. Regardless of what time of year. It is going to be cold in the morning. Cold in the morning. J9 says, I can take pain, but I detest migraines. I don't think that's pain.
Yeah,
it's
like
just
backache,
something different.
Heartache, toothache, or headache. Everything else I can get
Wow,
behind.
drop that again. Yeah, drop that again.
Headache, backache, toothache, or heartache. I can't do any of those, but everything else.
Headache, backache, toothache, or heartache. That's actually pretty solid right there.
Everything else, I'm good with.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Patty says, I love it though. I do too. You're going to get the entire spectrum of the whole year of weather in one day if you're here for the winter in Tucson. It starts out in the winter, first thing in the morning. In about an hour or so, it starts to get into spring.
Summer by noon.
Summer by noon, right? By about 3 o'clock, high noon. And it'll start feeling like fall again, right about 5 o'clock at night. Review Bra, where there's somebody called Review Bra. I've never met him. Everybody wants to see Review Bra take the challenge.
Here's a problem. I would imagine I'd have to say Review Bra.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could do that. I can do it with you with a straight face, but looking at the person who actually carried that name around, I don't know if I could. I'm in trouble now. I had trouble saying that without, Review Bra. It's you know what it is? It's no, it's Striker Fox is what it is. Hey, Striker Fox was fond of the bra.
Let me tell you something. We're not gonna, God rest his soul. We're not going to badmouth Striker, who we lost. Tried to thread the needle. Yeah, before his time, to be sure. Before his time. The best place for fresh brewed coffee in Desert Morning. Yeah.
Give me just a second.
Did you just call me a piece of underwear? Look.
Oh yeah, there it is. Here's a review, bro.
He should review the Tubatera. I'd like to watch that. Rogue, what's happening, Rogue?
No, you see, I can't find a review, bro.
I'd kill you with the Green Acres. I'm sorry. Do you know how long I've been doing that? Honest to God in heaven. And I've had cellmates who would say to me, "Dude, you do Green Acres one more time, I'm knocking out your front teeth." I'm not kidding. I've had some cellmates, and then you do it, you go.
Would people watching your show know who this dude is? Ask them if this is Review Bra. I think it might be. It's not the name of his channel, but he does tons of reviews, and I don't know. Does that look like a review bra to you?
Hold on a second.
And moving right along.
You know what, Patty? That's a great question, and you're a really cool person to ask it. Patty Joyce says, "Hi, Tommy. Does it bug you if we say hi when you are in the chat on STS? Is it disrespectful to Joel?" You know what? Him. That's a great question, and here's my answer to it.
That's him. Could you say it with a straight face now, knowing what? I mean, I was right.
I might struggle.
I'll be this Christian, babe.
So first of all, Joel's a great guy, and and he's super understanding. Joel loves the fact that his guests are popular with the audience. And as long as it doesn't, sort of get out of control, and sometimes it does, if, I like to pop up, kind of give it a wave, and then I sort of go back down under, and that's cool. It's bad if it starts to change the direction of the chat. But I think most of, especially the lifeboaters, are all super respectful. And I often get the, hey, that's my favorite guest. And you know what? Let's be really honest. That keeps the people there inviting you back, and that's always good for me. So I appreciate you. And in every chat, I think as long as it doesn't say, if it feels like it's starting to pull away from what the host is doing. However, Joel's pretty damn good at his job. It's hard not to watch what he's doing. You know what I mean? For real. And it sounds arrogant to say this because I've been a guest on his show, but he really does get the best guests ever. I mean, Joel gets great guests, very unusual pairings of guests. I mean, I was on there with a federal prison guard and a union rep for the feds and a warden who was actually a warden at a prison I did time at. That's in a state facility. That's a really odd pairing of three people, to pull that off. And I'm sure that's the chief of everything. It's probably a COE that's doing that. The booking. I'm not taking anything away from my man, but he'll be the first to tell you that the chief of everything is the reason that everything runs well. That was a fascinating show to watch, wasn't it, Kristen? I loved that show.
That was a good one.
Yep, I love that show.
I heard you wouldn't come out unless they said, "Here he comes, the comeback kid," but whatever.
You know what, man? You're gonna out me on just like that. That's great. I can explain. For real, I can explain. No, I can explain. It's I was feeling a lot like the comeback king at the time, and sometimes you just need that.
I anticipate you getting a call from Corey at some point to say, "Listen, man,
he wants me to come out and
I won't use it anymore."
Joel is the perfect straight man, is he not? I mean, he really is. And he's another one of those people that is just as genuine in real life. When you talk to him and you're not on the air, he is the same dude. He really is. And it's so funny. I can always tell if something big happens in the press and they start talking about somebody behind bars, that man, I mean, he has this fascination with prison, and it literally scares him. You can hear his palms sweat when he talks to you about it. But he has this fascination with prison, and every time it pops up into the news, I get a text. How bad is he sweating tonight? What's he feeling like tonight before he heads in? He really is one of those people that just. So I always like to tell him, we're coming up on tax time. Hey, you're doing that right, aren't you? I mean, you don't want to end up in the feds. You know what I mean? I don't want to do any time. I think. He really, he'll tell you it's his biggest fear on earth. He'd be fine too, which is funny. He really would. He's a super smart guy. If you're super intelligent, you're going to get out of prison. It's not, but you do have to be either tough or smart. A combo of the both isn't bad, but one or the other is a good idea. Tommy, say hi to Northern Ontario. I'm on speaker in the lounge. Well,
how you doing, eh?
How cool is that, eh? That was Johnny. It's low hanging fruit there. Low brow. Wait a sec. What day of the week is it?
Today's Wednesday.
It's hump day.
Is it Wednesday? Yes,
now, I'm going to say that when I was a kid, my friends north of the border, this was craft dinner night.
That's true. I remember that.
Yeah, craft dinner night was every Wednesday, and they made craft dinner into a freaking art form. And by that, of course, I mean blue mac and cheese. The blue box mac and cheese. Craft dinner north of the border. So you got to let me know. Crazy, are you a craft dinner magician? Because I have seen craft dinner magicians.
Listen to this, man. They sell 1.7 million boxes of craft mac and cheese a week. Just in Canada.
Shouting out your name, Shannon Smith. Woohoo! What's up, Shannon Smith? There you go.
7 million boxes a month.
7 million boxes a month north of the
just
border.
in Canada.
That is a lot. That's a lot of blue box right there, people. I mean it. That is a lot of mac and cheese. I kind of like to visualize it in the Big O.
Right.
Olympic Stadium. How many boxes did you say?
7 million.
7 million a month.
Oh, a month, yeah.
A month. So let's say we go 10 months. Right? 70 million boxes.
It's a lot of
Made
boxes.
into one big bowl. It would fill the Olympic Stadium.
I bet you could smell it from
6
Austria.
miles away. Who can eat that crap? Oh, Shannon Smith.
I'll tell you that.
Let me tell you what we're talking about here.
Inmates and freshmen.
Now, you don't just eat it.
You gotta add stuff.
Right.
Doctor that up.
Right. It's like a ramen noodle. When I said that I ate ramen noodle every single day of my prison sentence, surely you don't think I'm just ripping open one of those things, dumping it in water, opening that little packet that they've got. You know the packet?
I know the packet. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it's the monosodium glutamate packet. Yeah, you open up the MSG packet, dump it in there, right? Strain off a little bit of the water and then go. No, it's a base. You know what I mean?
It's no different than
a soup
ramen noodles.
stock. Yeah,
ramen
that's what I
noodle.
just
I was
said.
just saying Kraft ramen noodles identical.
Identical. It's base. It's what you start with.
The
Now,
bacon in there and Kraft macaroni and cheese, a little bit of bacon. Forget about it.
Now, Kat says if I could eat mac and cheese, I would live on it. Now, I have been on prison yards that you could actually buy Kraft dinner at, right? You could buy blue mac and cheese at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. You don't get it on every yard, but there are yards you can buy it at. Now, it's about as expensive as a kidney. I think it's maybe $5, $6. It's a lot of money compared to everything else. So most guys aren't springing for it. You know, you try to make your own or whatever. But north of the border, they're taking that and they're not just making a blue box of that orange stuff. That is how they start. And you will see, I mean, people use fish and, crustaceans, if you will.
Tons of different kinds of cheese too.
Kathy says, I like ramen. I could eat it many days. Well, if you ever end up incarcerated, Kath, you're going to be set because it is what prisoners eat every single day.
Here's the deal.
It's what you live on.
Who did 20 years in the feds, got out, and you would think he would never eat ramen noodle again. And the dude still eats ramen noodles every day for lunch.
Piano Man says, maybe add Spam. And I will tell you right now that I have had Kraft dinner with Spam, right? And the person that did it, it was a guy that I was used to work with as a public speaker. His name was Danny. I can tell you that. I'm not telling you anything about that. Danny would take and cube, right? He would cube the Spam. And he would do it with this thing that kind of looked like guitar string, right? And he would take it and go like this, whoof, and push it down, and then take it back up, turn it sideways, push it back down, and he would cube the entire thing into these itty-bitty little cubes. Then he would fry those little puppies until they were crunchy, crispy little. If Reese is here, she's going to pop up because Reese likes anything that is burnt to a crisp. But that's how this cat would do it.
Charred a little bit. I'm telling you.
I said the same thing. Reese is a weirdo. She agrees with us. So you cook these little things until they're just little charcoal balls. Then you add that to your craft
flavor and texture.
Correct. Lovely.
You can't get anything good that good outside.
No, it's good stuff. Cabot has a line of mac and cheese now.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
It's been a good show. I do enjoy you
afternoon.
guys. The cat is not in the basket, and that's a wrap. No, you know what? It literally is everything I can do. Get back here. You're not done.
I thought it was time.
I know we've got 16.
Kraft
We can
has mac and cheese.
No.
Have it. I mean, do they have like the white? Don't tell me if they have like the aged white cheddar. Do they have the aged white cheddar? Don't tell me because I don't want to know if they don't.
Tell me. Please tell me. Do they have the reserve? The reserve's 12 years, you know.
I don't care what they charge for it. I pay it.
I took my friend Jeff. You remember Jeff? No last names. You remember Jeff? But I took Jeff to the Northeast, and we went to Cabot's Lake, whatever you call it, outlet, right? The outlet thing, and We're a couple of average everyday guys. We're
It's in Piano Mom's fridge.
where you go
God,
to get a
you
little,
kidding me.
you go to get a little cheddar around here. We went in and they had a wheel out. See that? Love everything burnt. How did I know? How did I know? You know how you can always tell if someone's lurking? You can just throw that out there like this.
Well, you got your list of lurker questions. You know?
Well, everybody's got a list, but I know that's a button that it's like.
Hey, we have not got an answer on the aged New York Cabot cheese. Do they?
Yeah,
have,
she said it's in my refrigerator. That's what Piano Mom was saying.
I just thought you meant Cabot in general.
Well, I went in and they had the wheel underneath the glass, and we take a little bite of it. And I said to my friend Jeff, "Oh, you got to try this, right?" Jody Kelly got me. I'm lurking. Love it. My friend Jeff goes over, he takes a bite of it. He goes, "Good Lord, what is this?" And she goes, "That's the 12-year aged reserve. Not how much is this?" He goes, "How much of this do you have here?" And she goes, "I'm sorry, what?" And he's like, "How much of this do you have here?" And she goes, "I don't know. I'm sure we have a lot." And he's like, "Can you go back and look?" I said, "What are you going to do, bro? Fill a truck?" And he's like, "No, but I'd like to take, 8 or 9, blocks of this stuff." And they're like 2-pounders, and he did. He cleaned them out, which was only 8, and then made me look stupid too, because I was like, I'm sure they've got plenty. And then they didn't. Kristen Melinda said, "Reese." And I promise you, if you could see her, she's doing this number, right? Like, Izzy, are you throwing foods out there that are making people drool? Because that's what it sounds like. That's the second person I've seen say, "We eat a few ducks in the freezer."
I love duck.
Elderberry syrup. Oh, you know what is? We're going to have to ask you to knock that off. In fact, let me help everybody here. Big Mac, Whopper. How's that? Bring you back to reality. Start talking about that real food. We'll just start talking about some garbage food. Canada loves you, Reese. How about that,
Duck
Dennis the Menace?
Skin on a duck kind of looks like a person. We not ready to talk about that yet? I think it does. Sorry.
What?
No.
Hey. No. Bad. Jeremy Shelton says, "I'm a sucker for a nice can of SpaghettiOs and Frank's. I miss it." So you have a discerning palate. I can tell. I like SpaghettiOs. I'm not messed up about that. I'm willing to admit that that's the truth. I mean, I was 4 at the time. See what I did there, Jeremy? Huh? How about them Bee Gees? I do like anything bacon and beef. I promise you, anything with bacon and beef. I prefer, though, just bacon. There is a burger now that you can get at the Heart Attack Grill, I think it's called, in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it is a bacon burger. By that, I mean the patty, Johnny Scoville. That's the whole patty. Cabot Guinness cracked black pepper mac and cheese. I'm sorry. Could you say that in my good ear? Cabot Guinness cracked black pepper mac and cheese. Sit, Ubu. Sit, Ubu. Let's say, anyway.
Tomorrow will be an empty spot here.
Because you'll be off making this. Kestrel says, "Do you like rouladen, Tommy? It is a German dish with beef, bacon, and pickles. It's so good." Rouladen, do. Rouladen, do. No? All right. I don't know that I've ever tried it. However, I have had something that is called, I don't know. What is it called? Belushi?
John Belushi.
No.
Halushka.
God bless you. This isn't going well. There's a dish that Mama Scoville makes that has, and I believe it is a German dish, but it has cabbage, onions,
bacon,
and egg noodles.
And that would be all she wrote.
And I think that's all that's in.
There's no onions.
Yeah, there is.
No, there's cabbage.
There's onions in my salushki. Don't argue with me. I promise you I'm right. Wendy's Baconator. You know what? Wendy's, as far as fast food goes, Cabot Guinness. Wait a second. Oh no! Don't tell me. Cabot Guinness Black Truffle. Oh, see, I can't do that. I can't do that. And you can't see it, but I'm cat boxing that right now. Yeah, I'm doing it. You guys don't know the cat box, but we need to do a short.
You did it in my video.
I know, but I'm going to do a short, and I'm going to put up a short of me cat boxing so you guys know exactly what I mean when I say
disrespectful.
It's disrespectful, to be sure.
Wicked.
But I cat box anything truffle.
I don't like it.
You don't like truffles either?
I don't like the cat box. I love the truffle. I don't like your cat box. You did it to me on video the other day. Yeah, you move that hand. There'll be no tater tot.
Do you know that apparently Reese will not do that either? If you put a hand out, she said that
When my kid was like 4, I was standing by the fridge. He goes, I want a tater tot. I said, we just ate, bud. And he's no tater tot. I said, man, we just ate. It was my oldest one. And he went, no, it looks like a tater tot. So that's what we called it, a tater tot.
Yeah. There are still, I've heard other people refer to it as that as well. Heather Rhodes says halushki, as if she is familiar with halushki.
You can Google it. There is onion in it.
Of course there is. I knew this. Wesley John Holmes, what's happening, my brother? Halushki. Respect to you as well.
We've got a little debate going about halushki. Here's the truth of it. It gets better the longer it sits, to the point where I think you should make it on Monday and not even eat it until Wednesday. It tastes better a day or two after you've eaten it. It just does.
I cook almost everything from scratch, but nothing beats KFC extra crispy chicken. I can make fried chicken, but theirs tastes better than mine. Well, of course it does. And they have 11 herbs and spices, right? And
it makes it feel looking good.
About 500,000, chemical engineers that are adding things in there to just make it so that it's just a little bit better than crack. It's addicting to the point where I can't eat it.
We'll need Narcan there.
I have sworn off any of that stuff, because if I buy extra crispy chicken, it's like, I'm not being funny. To me, it's like my drug of choice, where that bucket of chicken, it might have 25 pieces in it. It might have 250 pieces in it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep eating it until I can see the bottom of that bucket. You know what I mean? It's unhealthy. It's like those fish you used to have. If you put in 5 feeder fish, they would eat them. But if you put in 25, they would eat until they were full and then just kill the other ones on general principle. Like it was just, reminded me of, I'm sorry, that wasn't nice. But it's the truth, Wow. I didn't say I was a nice person. I am, however, a very true person. You love my cat boxing? See that? Tampa B loves my cat boxing.
She's never been cat boxed. If she was, she wouldn't like it.
You don't know that. I very well may have cat boxed her. She and I have met in person. I may have cat boxed her. Shannon Smith says we saw the cat box. Excellent. I'm telling you, nothing else does what a cat box does. It is one of the greatest things in the world. If you're tired of a situation, or you're tired, you can just turn around and be like, I'm gone, right? You just kick a little up. It's never personal. It's not about you. I wasn't cat boxing you personally.
Stacey Spears said, did I hear halushka? We call it belushi in this house, but yeah, you sure did. I love making Czech style halushka. So good. But truly, it's way better after 2 days.
Dirty Mouse says, okay, beef bacon. Now you're talking. Love that stuff. We don't eat pork in my family, so I grew up on this. Giggity. Giggity.
See that? Why'd you do that to Johnny? It was me. Shannon's got my back.
Scoob says, I don't think we could be friends now because you don't like truffles. No, you know what it is, Scoob? I love truffles. I love them. In fact, if you had Cabot, pepper, jack, mac and cheese with truffle in it here, I would eat it. I would have to first go get an EpiPen, but I probably would just end up eating it anyway. We had an uncle that used to do this on the regular.
With olives.
Olives. He can't eat olives because he's allergic to them. So he would go get an EpiPen and he would buy a thing of olives and eat them as fast as he could and then EpiPen himself.
I remember a funny story, him calling his doctor on the driving to the emergency room because I need some olives. I'll see you there.
That's funny. The Jeremy Shelton Encouragement Fund.
Right,
See, I say things like, don't encourage them. And Bacon Bits Ben Turner. Big hands on that man. Apparently, he's a drone fan as well. A guy flies drones. I was telling him, do you remember the size of that drone? That
it's pretty decent size.
It looks like it could pick up a cat and fly off with it. Like it's a big flying machine. The propellers on that rascal are like this big. They're about a foot long, foot and a half long, and there's 4 of them. It's a big, gnarly thing. And let me tell you how much fun it is to fly. Well, actually, I have no idea. Because in spite of the fact that I have it and a 12-pack of batteries for it or whatever, I've never actually flown the thing or gotten it off the ground because I'm not that person.
We filmed it a lot in the reality show. I couldn't believe it. I was surprised.
Well, that's because there were professionals there who were intelligent. And here we have us. Tampa B-Man says, when I was a teen, I'd heat up Beanie Weenie and smash it up. I'd pretend I was a prisoner and it was my food. I know, not appropriate here. Wildly appropriate here. In fact, if that's not appropriate here, I don't know where it would be. And you're not far off, by the way. Although I think Beanie Weenie is probably a lot better than what they were feeding us. But I remember Beanie Weenies. Why did I do that to Johnny? It was mean. Are you referring to my cat boxing him? If I remember correctly, he had, I don't remember, but he had done something mean to me. I didn't just cat box him out of nowhere. What were you trying to do? Get me to eat something hot?
I don't recall. It's on video. We can go back and, it's there forever.
But I will say this, Shannon Smith. I have cat boxed Johnny. How many times you figure? 20 or 30,000? Somewhere in there? Huh? I've been doing it for how long?
Pretty disrespectful. You've done it in different countries. It's bad.
It's the truth. I have done this on multiple continents. I've done it in airplanes. I've
5-star restaurants.
5-star restaurants on stage. Yeah. Done it on stage. Yeah, this has been a part of my repertoire for a very, very long time.
Oddly enough, I wrote about it yesterday.
Did you? How about that? I've done it. I've done it on football games. I've gone and dropped a quarterback and then cat boxed him as I walked away. It was just a thing. I don't know. It started off. Yeah, I think I was probably $16. Yeah, I think it started off. In high school. What on earth is cat boxing? Well, I want you to picture a cat done with its business. Cross that with a dog that is done with their business, and they sort of kick up their feet.
Well, it'd be bad if you did this. It would still be bad. But you turn your back and
you turn your back. You turn your back, and you sort of, your shoulders square up, and your back feet kind of kick like you're throwing a little kitty litter on a deuce.
I don't care for it. My
brother, Johnny Scoville, says he's not a fan of it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I don't necessarily believe you. I think you're working my audience because you can get that right now. See, Johnny saw somebody say, "Why would you do that to Johnny? It's not nice." And Johnny instantly falls into that "my brother abuses me" routine. Oh yeah, he's a pro. Don't let him work you.
They know how you are.
Oh, here we go.
They're listen. You're so transparent. They could read you like a billboard, dude. They got my back because they care about me. I'm like the nicer of the two.
Are you noticing he can't keep a straight face? Back in the day, back in the day, Johnny would have gotten away with that. He honestly could have pulled it off, but he's getting a little older. You know what I mean? Probably not a fan of Tiny Fiddle either. That would be this one. No, that's the world's smallest. Yes. Tiny Fiddle. I laid that tiny fiddle on the ground. Oh no, that's a golden fiddle. Johnny's reminding me of Mr. Horse from Ren and Stimpy. No, sir, I don't like it. Great reference. Great reference. That is awesome.
Look at that. Scooby says, can't choose between the Scovilles. Because if you had to.
You're brothers. You're both mean to each other. Well, yeah, there's something to that. But if you had to choose, it would be pretty obvious. Everybody knows that. It's okay. It's all right. Well. Right now on the radio is Uriah Heep stealing. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Stealing when I should have been buying made me think
That's
of you.
A great song.
That's a really good song.
You know who loved Uriah Heep? Hanson. Dug Uriah Heep.
Really?
So did Loomis, actually.
Do you remember the snake guy that I worked with at the cabinet making place? Remember? So this guy had been to prison. He was the first convict I ever met. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, I worked at a cabinet making place. You can choose between the Scovilles. We choose squirrel. Well played. Well played. So this guy that worked with me had been to prison, and he got out, and my boss had hired him and given him a chance, and he had actually become very close with the family and everything else. Sadly, I remember running into him on the Village Green, and he was driving a Mustang GT 350. And I said, wow, man, you're doing great. He said, yeah, man. He said, I just got back into the life. I'm selling blow. I was like, oh my God, no. And he's like, yeah. But anywho, he was the first guy that had ever turned me on to Uriah Heep. He gave me an album. And yeah, he was a good, cool dude too.
Freshman year.
Yeah, that's a great
I think
song,
I knew who they were, but I didn't really start listening to them until.
Debbie Logan says, I think you're both pretty cool. Well, that's a very nice thing to say.
She doesn't.
Shannon Smith says, I'm addicted to squirrel videos. I need an intervention. On the bright side, I'm intervening because I have not been given $1 for the use of my.
Did you see the release she signed?
She
signed a release.
Here's
so
the thing. I saw the release.
Okay.
I did.
And it was the same release I signed in Super Hot.
The difference being of the toe beans, there's one that it's pretty obvious that
so that's I faked it. I faked
no. I just think that kind of looked like it had been pressed down. I don't think Squirrel walked over and was like, yeah, I'm into this. I think maybe.
Did you see where she initialed with her claw?
I did not.
It was solid.
I did not.
Squirrel's actually public domain, fair use. Thank you, Shelton.
And you're absolutely right. However, if he films my cat again, I'm hitting him with a baseball bat in his knee. Fair use. Or fair warning, I'm sorry. Fair warning. Squirrel is, though, she's in the public domain, to be sure. And she's a bit of a rock star, and she knows it. She works it. She works it. It's a reality. It's something that I have to live with, but I'm a little bummed out that, she's a full-time employee of Chase the Heat, right? And I don't think she's getting her proper Scooby says, Johnny, help me find Tommy, but Tommy has also helped me. So I love you, Scoob. You know what? For real, we love you. Scoob's family. Brazy says, I do love Johnny's squirrel videos. You know why? Because Johnny's a cat person for real. You know what I mean? There are people who just kind of go out and film, but that cat really does love my brother. Like they have a very cool relationship. It's actually a lot of fun to watch.
All right. Jennifer says, will you please tell your brother we can tell when he has or has not slept? Shows.
What are you saying there?
She's saying that you look like the older brother this morning.
You're saying that I look tired? Because I did sleep last night, man. B. Hendricks says, nice axes. He's acting like an axe all morning. It's funny you say that. Uh-oh. Johnny, I made a huge mistake. I thought wasabi on my plate last night was avocado. Dear God, I ate the whole tablespoon. Won't do that again. Debbie, tell me that wasn't awesome. Here's the greatest part of eating wasabi by accident, because been there, done that, right? I've told this story. First time I ever had sushi, I went out with a girl whose name was Noelle, right? She was a skier, and she was a bunch older than I was. And we go out, and she says, have you had sushi before? And of course I said, yes, duh, tons of it. So they brought it out, and it looked like a clock. There were 12 things on the clock. Well, the 12 o'clock position was a great big thing of wasabi. And I thought to myself, well, that looks remarkably like guac. So I just picked up the whole dollop of this.
That would be the whole.
That would be the whole dollop, about half the size of a golf ball. Threw it in my mouth and went, yeah, 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 yeah. About the third chew, I thought, oh, I have made an error, right? The tears began to well up in my eyes, right? And I'm young. I'm like 16, and I'm thinking to myself, I am screwed, right?
You think you're dying?
Well, I think it's going to be.
You have a reaction to it? Or?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a pepper burn, where this is going to take 15 to 20 minutes. The nice thing about wasabi is it comes on really hard and fast, but it goes away just as quickly, right?
Not when you're in the script, it doesn't. It's going to last forever. Oh, that's funny.
And it really was one of those situations that I felt, once the thing went away, and she looked at me and went, I have never seen anybody that into wasabi. And I'm a fan. It's my favorite thing on the plate. That's why I always lead off with it. Maybe a little more. It sucks the air right out your lungs, doesn't it?
You know what you need to do? You need to do nasal napalm. From the, you heard me?
Hodenbecken?
The Pepper Palace. They have this stuff called nasal napalm, and it's horseradish. If you open a jar in the kitchen, it creates a vacuum in your home. All the air is gone. It just sucks the air out of your lungs, and you cough and you hack. And they say it's the hottest. It's not really hot. It's just super strong.
I'll try that.
That would be such. I wonder if
I'll try that.
Let me see if there's a Pepper Palace in Tucson.
Yeah, I'll try. I love horseradish and wasabi. But yeah, no, I sold it too. I sold it. I did
crap! It's in Chandler.
I did the. Oh man, it's not
Chandler's far away.
It's not that big a deal. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's by Phoenix.
You think I'm driving 2 hours for a jar of?
Whoa! Everybody catch that on film, huh? Can we get a timestamp at 107:40? Whoa! Well, there's the real Johnny Scoville. Yeah, you saw it. Bet you like the Johnny Cam now, don't you, there, brother? Yeah, you saw it. Now you're driving 2 hours. Grit your teeth there, Johnny Scoville. Your husband loves wasabi. You like the wasabi peas. I'm a fan of the wasabi. Is that a manicuring thing? What's up there, Johnny Scoville? Something underneath your fingernail? Yeah. Midnight Show's laughing at you. I'll have you know that. Arwa is laughing at you. Well,
she has a fine sense.
It could have been she's laughing. I can't tell exactly who she's laughing at. By way of full disclosure, it's a little tough because there's just two smiley faces. But I'm going to go with she's laughing at you. I love these two. They are like perpetual college students. Something falls in the yard off a tree and they decided to try eating it.
It is what it is.
That did actually happen. I remember that one. We thought it was a grapefruit. Turns out it wasn't. And tart, forget about it.
I think it's a ponderosa lemon, but still don't know.
Yeah. Is there a club for all of us who chopped chilies and then went to the can? Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. We have t-shirts for it too. There are t-shirts. Stop by the merch store. We have t-shirts for that. The good rule of thumb is like wash the ever loving you know what out of your hands, and then try not to touch anything that is even remotely pink in color. Right? Keep away from the corners of your eyes. Keep away from
any mucous membrane.
Anything, yeah. Neither of them care about the squeaky chair. Now, hear that? That's the older Scoville. Hear this? Look. I did not use WD-40, by the way, because I don't want to hurt the kitty. Now, it still squeaks a little, but it squeaks a lot less than it did. beginning of the show, I touched on this briefly. I said,
Use whale oil. I'm kidding.
No, I might have. This time I used Pam cooking spray. Don't pick my nose. I picked my nose.
No, about chopped peppers.
Oh yeah, don't pick your nose. There you go. I thought you caught me picking my
Do
nose.
you realize how awkward it was? Had I not saved you just then? I mean,
I would have thought for the rest of the day.
Our contract.
I would have thought for the entire day I was digging in my beak this morning. And you
You'd
know
be going
what?
back looking for it.
Chance I did. Pretty good chance I did. If I went back and looked for it, I'm sure I'd find it. You're not gonna go an hour and 10 minutes without doing the occasional. Thank you. Jeremy Shelton, I've seen the ramen over in Japan and it looks amazing. I think they do it a little different over there. I still think it's still just a base, man. It's the base.
It's no different than, the craft in Canada. Same thing.
He got caught in a pickle. In a pick, Jerry. We all do it, Tommy. They're lying if they say they don't. You know what?
Caught doing that.
Oh, we caught a girl. One of the most beautiful. You were in the car. No, it wasn't the day before yesterday. But my brother and I were in a car in Utah. Do you remember this? It was a Mormon assault vehicle, right? A Suburban. It was the same day that we went up.
Yes, I do remember.
Big Cottonwood Canyon. So we're riding on the freeway, and we pull up next to a girl who is super attractive. I mean, this girl is really attractive. She's so attractive that the 6 or 8 guys in the car all instantly turned into high school kids and did this number here. Right? Every head turned, and we all looked at this girl at the same time, right? At which point she went to work, right? And she had the second digit. She was really working it. And we all went, oh, right at the same time. Everybody in the car did the, oh, no. Then, oh, yeah. Then she comes out with it. And you know what she did, right? You know what she did, don't you?
I need some coffee.
Yeah. She chewed it out from underneath her fingernail. She did. She chewed it out from underneath her fingernail. And we went, oh, no. Everybody in the car started doing that.
I'll be here till Friday.
Yep.
Try the veal. Tip
your waitresses. So we jump off the freeway and follow this girl down to the red light, at which point all of the windows in the car went down. And the poor girl, the guys in the car were yelling, oh, we saw that. Yeah, it was terrible. The worst, Tinker Mom. And I will tell you this. If you want to see a really, really beautiful person look a lot less beautiful really quickly, watch him go in for a booger, because that'll do it. Yes, Kat, I blame my brother. This is Johnny's fault. I know you probably think that it was me telling the story, but this is Johnny's fault. Okay. That's a wrap, people. I mean, there's nowhere to go from there. Once you've gone to the booger eating, it's there's nowhere else to go. Miss Dragon made a new intro and outro. People, we need to see that. What time is that going to be at, Miss Dragon? When can we check this out? Tampa B, you were eating when I did that? Look, you know better than to be eating when I'm doing the lifeboat. I mean, honestly. Any of you eat when I'm talking? Well, that's just bad juju. Barb, how long have we known each other? The road trip is a very cool. If you've never gone over and checked out Miss Dragon, what's wrong with you? Huh? Come on. I really do love the fact that we are. I gagged and my coworkers asked me if I was okay. Rogue, you didn't say, oh, it was just Tommy Scoville, did you? This is how it starts. It's how the reputation, it starts out with that, and then Cat Stewart says, I mean, we all go fishing, but we usually release them into the wild. Stage fright can be cured by picturing the audience picking their noses. I've never tried that. Oh, you're not supposed to be watching YouTube. Well, then shh. See, I'm going to get her busted at work. She's laughing. All right, I'm going to let you say goodbye to this yokel. Cletus.
The slack-jawed yokel?
The slack-jawed yokel. No, Johnny, thank you for being here this morning. This really was an awful lot of fun.
Always.
It's always it. Bless you. Stacia says, used to have a teacher we named Pick and Flick for the I'm sorry. That's just never going to get that's never going to get old. Midnight Show says, I don't want to say goodbye. Don't. Never say goodbye. Just we'll all meander off and we'll see each other on the next one. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. Thank you for all you do, people. I love you. That's my brother.
Meandering.
And the cat